Brian Cornell is the CEO of Target. The company is just out with news talking about what it's seen, just unusually strong traffic, unusually strong sales because of people trying to get in and stock up for the coronavirus. The store is making a number of changes. It's withdrawing its prior guidance because what it's seeing is pretty unprecedented. It's going to be suspending its share repurchase activity, and it's also going to be giving raises of $2 an hour to those employees that are working through at least May 2nd. It's also going to be giving bonuses to its store associates for the first time. Brian Cornell joins us on the phone right now to talk more about what he's seeing. And Brian, we appreciate your time this morning.
Becky, good morning. And I hope you're at home with your family and staying safe and healthy.
I am. Thank you. I hope you are, too. Let's talk a little bit about what you're seeing, Brian. You've never seen anything like this in your career, have you?
Well, we talked to investors back on March 3rd at our annual investor conference. And at that point, we talked about our outlook for the quarter and the year. And I think, as we all know, things have changed dramatically in that time period. So we thought it was best for us to update investors today, talk about the trends we're seeing in our business, the investments we're making in our team, the focus we are placing on serving our guests. And obviously, we've seen a surge in business. We talked about the fact that in February, we saw our comps increase by 3.8%, pretty much in line with our expectation. In March, we started to see business surge, and our comps during the month of March are up 20%. But in certain categories like household essentials and food and beverage, our business is growing at a rate of 50% year on year. So enormous demand in our system. I'm really proud of the work our team's doing. And for our team members, they are really heroes right now. They're the ones on the front line providing what we view as a community service as our guests look for those essential items for their medicines, for diapers, for all those core items that their family needs right now. And we thought we needed to lean in and make sure that we're investing behind our team. So we did announce last week a $300 million investment in our team, higher wages, as you talked about, $2 across the board for all of our supply chain and store team members, bonuses for the first time for our 20,000 frontline leaders who manage the individual areas in our stores. We're providing all of our team members who are pregnant, 65 or older, have pre-existing conditions, 30 days of paid leave. And we think it's really important right now to provide free backup child and elder care, as obviously so many of our team members have children that are in their home and no longer going to school.
So, Brian, let's talk about what you've seen. If you've seen 50% increases in some of the things that you're selling to customers, how do you keep up with that? How is the supply chain working right now? And how able are you, I should say, to get things resupplied on the shelves?
Well, we're working in tandem with our key vendors. Obviously, we've seen an enormous surge in paper products, in disinfectants, in canned products, in beverages. And we started to see that, Becky, occur really in that last week of February as consumers started to recognize that, the world around them was changing. As universities closed, as schools closed, as travel restrictions were put in place, as major events across the country were canceled, I think the consumer quickly realized that they had to stock up. We've now tried to encourage them, not to hoard, buy what you need for the next 10 days, not 10 weeks. And let them know that the supply chain is working. We've had to put limitations on certain items to ensure that everyone has access to the key essential items that they need. But we're working very closely with our domestic vendor partners to make sure that we're replenishing our system, we're flowing goods from our supply chain into our stores, and making sure that we can replenish and provide the products that are so essential to American consumers today.
Brian, I was in a Target on Monday, and I was pleasantly surprised with what I was able to get. Paper towels, acetaminophen, Zicam, diapers, wipes, M&Ms, all the things you need for something like this. But are there problems? Like I couldn't find toilet paper. That was the one thing that was not there.
Those products, Becky, are flowing through our system today. Again, in tandem with our vendors, we're working around the clock to make sure we can get product back on the shelves and make sure that the next time you're in our stores, all of those essential items that you're looking for are available. Or if you choose to use one of our convenient same-day services, You can order and pick up. You can drive up into our parking lot and we'll put it in your trunk. And we have obviously hundreds of thousands of personal shoppers through Shipt that are now bringing product to your home, but as opposed to coming in your home, they're dropping it right at your doorstep. So we're trying to make sure that we link our supply chain with the products that you need and make it as easy as possible for you to replenish the things that you need in your home.
Brian, even here in New York, we had a local supermarket chain operator saying that the supply chain, that the bottleneck, whatever it was, has been alleviated and it's gone. And I'm wondering the inclination to hoard and all that everyone had because of what's happening. Was the whole notion that something like coronavirus could shut down trucking or supply chains or people working in the distribution centers? Was that overblown, do you think? Was there ever a chance where you needed to hoard pasta and food because you weren't going to be, the supermarkets weren't going to be restocked in your view?
Joe, I think it was really important that we clarified that certain retailers were going to provide these essential services and stay open. And that's been one of our messages, that we're committed to serving all of those millions of families that shop our stores every week. We are going to stay open. We're going to support our teams to make sure that they can support our guests. But I think there was some questions about, all right, is all of retail going to close? I mean, if we sit here today in the United States, over 110 retailers have closed their doors. That represents 36,000 retail doors across the country that are no longer operating. And I think there was some question around, all right, who else would stay open? And how would I get those essential items? So we've tried to make sure the consumer and our guest knows we're committed to operating our stores, to providing them with the product that they need, to working with our suppliers and vendors to make sure we have product in our stores and in our system that they can shop each and every day. But I think there was some confusion around, is all of retail going to close? And if that happens, how do I get those core essential items that I need to take care of my family each and every week?
Hey, Brian, wanted to just ask you a couple things. First of all, I just wanted to say thank you, and thank you to the people on the front line. I was at a Target. I filled out a card. I don't even know. I touched the pen. I filled it out to thank everybody, and then I immediately sanitized. But my question to you is, the $2 that are going to be added to per hour to your workers, do you believe that's going to be sustainable across the board? The 50% increase, do you look at that as one time? Do you look at that as 2 or 3 months? What does that look like to you, or how do you even model that out in the future? If and of course we all hope we get over this hump and this virus, what's the thought process there?
Andrew, it's why we decided today to withdraw our guidance. The range of outcomes are just so wide, it's hard to provide any kind of precision in this environment. None of us know how long this virus is going to last. We don't know when America is going to go back to work. Obviously, it's great to wake up this morning and see that the stimulus package has been approved, but we don't know all the details. So it's been really hard for us to say, how long will this go on? We're going to have to be flexible and adaptable. I meet with my leadership team every single day. We're constantly making adjustments because there's no playbook for this environment. And I don't expect 50% increases in certain categories to go on forever, but we don't know if that's going to continue for 4 weeks, 8 weeks, or 24 weeks. So we've got to be flexible and adaptable, and literally we're making adjustments and decisions every day as we try to cope with the challenges in the system.
Hey, Brian, Walmart has said that they're hiring 150,000 other additional people to kind of help them out with this. Amazon's looking for 100,000 new employees. Are you hiring too?
We're certainly hiring, Becky, but we're certainly starting with adding additional hours for our existing team members to make sure our existing team has access to those hours. We're staffing up our pickup service, our drive-up service. Our Shipt business is adding thousands of new shoppers to make sure that they can meet the demand. And we're certainly hiring in many of our stores. In fact, about 50% of our stores are hiring right now. We're hiring in the supply chain. But we always start by taking care of our existing team and making sure they're getting the hours that they want and they need to support their families.
Brian, I want to thank you very much for your time this morning and appreciate all the efforts that you and your employees are putting in. We hope to have you back soon, but thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, and I really appreciate the recognition of our team. the real heroes are the team members who are in stores every day, providing the service that the families that shop Target need each and every day. So thank you very much.